Yo, what is up, AD team? Today I want to show you how I regained back my L-sit, because if you don't know, when I did the horse challenge about a little over a year ago, I was barely able to hold the L-sit for 5 seconds, and that was a problem because a few years back before, I was actually able to hold the L-sit for 10 plus seconds. But the issue was that I stopped training it, and then from there, my tricep and abs didn't get weak. What got weak was actually my hip flexors. So recently I went on a journey on gaining back my 10 plus second L-sit, and recently I have achieved it. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the top exercises that I was doing in order to increase my L-sit hold. All right, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So with the L-sit, it's usually taught to go through some static progressions. So using the bar, doing like a tuck L-sit, going to a half L-sit, and then eventually the full. But I actually didn't focus on static progressions using the bar at all. And the reason is because since I want to target only my hip flexor strength, I didn't want to include my triceps or my abs or anything like that in order to target my hip flexors. So let me show you what I actually did. First thing I did, and this was before every single workout, I would do 3 sets of hanging leg raises. Just getting on a pull-up bar like this, focusing in on bringing my legs up to 9 degrees parallel, back down. Now, yes, that is mostly an ab exercise, especially a lower ab exercise, but it will indirectly work your hip flexors without including your triceps. So sometimes when you work static progressions, you'll get tricep fatigue before your hip flexors actually give out. So what I would do is I would keep going until my hip flexors actually gave out. And then once I was able to do at least 10 reps of 3 sets, that's when I actually started doing weighted leg raises. So I would just grab a dumbbell, put it between my feet, and then do leg raises from there. Then over time, progressively overload, and that's also how my hip flexors got stronger. And then I was then able to translate that into a static progression. Now, another thing I did was actually target my hip flexors specifically by using a kettlebell. I don't have a kettlebell right now, but imagine the idea of me putting a kettlebell through my foot, holding the bar, and then from there, bringing my knee up to my chest, just like this, 4 reps. See, even if you got really weak hip flexors, you can actually do this without weight, and it'll still probably be pretty difficult for you. So you're using one foot to hold the ground, using your hands on the pull-up bar, and just driving your knee up and kind of holding a little pause right there. Now, let's say for whatever reason you don't have a kettlebell or you don't have a pull-up bar, let me show you how you can actually use this exercise with resistance bands. So right here, I have a black resistance band of about medium thickness. What you want to do is tie it to something low, and then from there you're going to get on the ground, put your foot through it just like we talked about before, back up to where you have enough tension on the band, so it should be pretty tight like that. Lay back, arms behind your head, drive your knee to your chest, back down. More rep. So you still want to have that little hold at the top. Then of course switch legs so that you can work the hip flexors evenly. And I believe this exercise is actually a little bit harder than the kettlebell variation. All right, so I like to also bend this foot back too. Hands behind my head. It may look like your knee's probably not coming far, or my knee not coming far, but what you want to do is actually just go as far as you personally can. For some people, it may be a bit higher to the chest. For some people, it may be very low down here. That shows that you have probably a big hip flexor weakness, and then through time, you'll notice a greater range of motion. All right, the last thing I would work on is actually a static progression, but not doing the actual L-sit in itself. But I would go back to the bar, I would grab either a weight or maybe even sometimes body weight, and I would do static L holds, just like this right here. I would usually either do that before I get into my dynamics, just like a few sets or even one set, or sometimes at the end. But the point is, even though I'm doing a lot of dynamic stuff, I still try to include like at least one variation of a static exercise that really translates over into the L set, all right? So do all those exercises out a few times a week whenever it sees fit within your routine. And I promise you, your L sit will increase without actually training progressions for the L sit, and your hip flexor strength will also get better too. All right, thank you guys for watching. If you want to implement more of these systems and stuff into your own personal workout routine and you want my help doing it, check out my one-to-one coaching application to where we'll come up with a custom nutrition plan alongside with a custom training plan. All right, link will be down below. Subscribe, like. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.